The message arrived at precisely 12 o'clock Universal Time Coordinated. A transmission beamed across every channel, hijacking satellite networks, radio signals, and even primitive analog broadcasts. It was a declaration, a demand, an ultimatum. The voice was deep, layered, and inhuman, reverberating with a synthetic modulation that suggested it had been engineered for intimidation. You are unfit to resist. Your world belongs to the Dominion. Surrender your governance, your weapons, your sovereignty. You will be allowed to exist under our rule, or you will be eradicated. The message repeated in every major language, then paused. The world held its breath. 4 years, rumors of extraterrestrial intelligence had persisted, but this was undeniable proof. The Dominion, whoever they were, had just declared war. The United Nations Security Council was already in emergency session. The world's military leaders, intelligence agencies, and heads of state scrambled for answers. Could humanity fight back? Was this even real? And then, before the world could organize a serious response, the internet did. First contact, human style. It started with a single post. A random Twitter user, unknown to history, simply wrote, "Bro thinks he's in a movie." And just like that, the floodgates opened. Meme pages erupted. TikTok edits turned the Dominion's ominous declaration into dance remixes. Someone auto-tuned the transmission and set it to a bass drop. The phrase, "You are unfit to resist," became a trending joke. Within hours, the response wasn't fear. It wasn't compliance. It was mockery. One viral post had a simple caption, "We've seen this cutscene before." Another featured an image of Will Smith from Independence Day punching an alien, with the text, "Welcome to Earth." The Dominion, an empire spanning 1,000 worlds, had never encountered anything like it. The galactic overlords are confused. Aboard the Dominion flagship, the Ziran High Commander, Talmoveth, stared at the screens in stunned silence. What is this? His officers hesitated. The transmission feeds from Earth should have shown mass panic. Governments submitting. Military leaders pleading for negotiation. Instead, Supreme One, the humans are laughing at us. Tallest tendrils curled in disbelief. Laughter? Yes, Supreme One. The intelligence officer looked visibly uncomfortable. They are mocking our declaration. They are creating what they call memes using our words. They are comparing our warning to fictional stories of their entertainment. Tal hissed. This is some kind of psychological warfare. The officer hesitated. I do not think so. It appears to be genuine ridicule. Tal's claws flexed against the metal command console. This species was either deeply foolish or utterly deranged. No species, no civilization should have reacted this way. Still, there was only one possible conclusion. They laugh because they do not comprehend our power, Tal decided. Transmit a final warning. If they do not kneel, we will make an example of their world. Earth's response, full-scale trolling. When the second Dominion transmission arrived, it was met with a coordinated response that no war council could have predicted. Instead of fear, Earth's greatest minds, hackers, meme lords, comedians, got to work. The transmission was immediately hijacked and altered. The Dominion's ominous demand was replaced with a robotic voice saying, "Hey Vsauce, Michael here. What is galactic domination?" The original Dominion message was cut into a rap battle. A deepfake video surfaced showing Tal himself saying, "I have decided to surrender to the humans. They are too powerful." Entire Reddit threads dedicated themselves to theorizing which sci-fi tropes the Dominion fit into. Are they a Star Wars Empire knockoff or more of a Warhammer 40k type? Even world leaders caught in the chaos couldn't help but react. The official White House Twitter account simply posted, LMAO. The Dominion, an empire that had crushed over 100 civilizations, was being dismantled by sheer human audacity. The final straw. Tal could not comprehend what was happening. They are mocking our fleets. They are celebrating this moment. Supreme One of his officers whispered, "We have analyzed their culture. This is normal behavior. They have done this before, even among themselves. They mock their own leaders. They insult their own military. Their entertainment is full of exaggerated wars against fictional aliens." Tal's mandibles clicked together in agitation. So they are deranged. Yes, Supreme One. But their response is not just madness. It is, the officer hesitated. It is defiance. The Supreme One turned to the tactical display showing the human world. "This must end," Tal growled. He raised a clawed hand. "Prepare the fleet. If they will not surrender, we will show them the price of defiance." Humanity's last message. Before the invasion began, before the Dominion fleet darkened Earth's skies, the humans sent one final transmission. It was a simple video. A single soldier standing in a dark room. A human with an easy, amused smile. And then he spoke. "You have no idea what you've just done." Then the screen cut to black. The Dominion fleet arrived in force. 100 dreadnoughts, each the size of a small moon, darkened the skies above Earth. Millions of attack craft hovered in orbit, poised to strike. They had conquered over 100 worlds, crushed civilizations older and more advanced than humanity. This was meant to be another swift extermination, an example to the rest of the galaxy. But something was wrong. From the moment the fleet arrived, Earth's response was not normal. The humans keep laughing? Aboard the Dominion flagship Zarkaloth, Supreme Commander Talmoveth watched the screens in stunned silence. He had expected chaos, governments falling, cities burning, terror gripping the population. Instead, his forces were being met with derision. All over the human networks the response was clear. They really pulled up like an anime villain monologue, LMAO. "Oh no, scary space overlords. Whatever shall we do?" Faced with tears of joy. A viral video depicted Earth's major cities with giant signs that read, "We're still not surrendering," LL flashing across their skyscrapers. Even the United Nations, an organization that had never agreed on anything, had issued a formal declaration titled, "Nah." Tal slammed his clawed fist on the console. "These humans do not understand. They must be educated in suffering. Begin the bombardment." The order was given. Dreadnoughts in orbit turned their weapons toward Earth. Superheated plasma cannons, capable of reducing entire continents to ash, primed their energy cells. The fleet fired. The atmosphere screams. But not in the way they expected. Tal and his officers watched as massive blasts of plasma streaked toward the surface. It was a devastating sight, each impact capable of incinerating millions. But then, something unexpected happened. The plasma rounds stopped. Midair. The Dominion officers scrambled at their controls. Impossible. Their planetary shields should not be this strong. But there were no shields. The humans weren't using energy barriers. They were using something far worse. They were hijacking the Dominion's own weapons. Meet the internet, idiots. It started as a whisper in the Dominion fleet's comms. A strange, low-pitched noise distorting their ship's systems. "Is that human radio interference?" an officer asked. "No," another replied, his voice shaking. "That's..." It grew louder. An incomprehensible chant, rhythmic and terrifyingly coordinated. Tal's mandibles twitched. "What is that sound?" The comms officer paled. "That's the Halo Gregorian monk chant, Supreme One." And it was just the beginning. Across every Dominion ship their interfaces glitched. Screens filled with spinning skull emojis. AI assistants were hijacked by voices repeating, "You are not that guy, pal." The Dominion fleet was experiencing a full-scale cyber attack, unlike anything in history. Because humanity had spent centuries perfecting the most insane, aggressive, and borderline feral digital warfare techniques in existence. Earth's military had barely lifted a finger. This wasn't them. It was the hackers. The gamers. The internet trolls. They weren't just resisting. They were winning. Ships shut down, weapons hijacked, chaos ensues. Dominion cruisers began spinning uncontrollably. Their targeting systems locked onto themselves. Some ships even fired upon each other, their interfaces flooded with pop-up ads that could not be closed. One officer screamed as his console was overtaken by a 2048 pop-up that he couldn't escape. "Supreme One, we're losing control of the fleet." Tal roared, his patience snapping. "Deploy the ground forces. Crush these creatures in person." Humanity's response, "Oh, you want to fight? Bet." Drop pods rained from the sky as the Dominion forces deployed their soldiers. Thousands of towering, armored warriors, each bred for war, stormed toward Earth's major cities. Invasion protocols were underway. But then, their first encounter with human resistance was a single Florida man. The first Dominion soldier to step out of his pod was a veteran of over 100 planetary wars. His armor could withstand a tank shell. His training was superior to most species' entire militaries. And yet, the moment he took a step forward, a human wearing nothing but cargo shorts and cowboy boots leaped at him from a second-story window, screaming, "Welcome to Earth B." The Dominion warrior had no time to react before he was tackled at full force, bare-knuckle punched into unconsciousness, and robbed of his plasma rifle. The camera footage went viral. The humans are built different. It wasn't just one madman. It was all of them. Dominion soldiers soon found themselves overwhelmed by Grandmas wielding cast iron skillets like medieval warhammers. Texans dual-wielding revolvers, shouting, "Get off my lawn." Teenagers sprinting at full speed, Naruto running straight into battle. Random civilians looting Dominion weapons and figuring out how to use them in record time. A group of construction workers who stole a Dominion tank, hot-wired it, and drove it straight into the enemy ranks, blasting AC/DC. This wasn't a war. This was absolute chaos. The final straw, a man in a fursuit rises. Tall, watching from his flagship, was seething. His warriors, his perfect soldiers, were losing to an enemy that did not fight like any other species. Then something horrifying happened. On the battlefield, a lone Dominion warlord stood his ground, surrounded by fallen humans. He had just mowed down dozens, his plasma cannon overheated but still operational. And then, a single human approached. He was wearing a fursuit, a full-sized blue and neon green wolf costume, with a chainsaw. The Dominion warlord faltered. What are you?" The fursuit warrior revved his chainsaw, and he simply said, "Your worst FING nightmare." Then he charged. The footage of that battle would be replayed across the galaxy for centuries. Tal has had enough. The Supreme One turned, face filled with pure rage. "Retreat." His officers hesitated. "But Supreme One." "I said retreat." And so the Dominion fleet, undefeated across the stars, fled from Earth. Not because of military superiority. Not because of advanced weapons. But because humanity was insane. And nobody in the galaxy wanted to deal with that. The Dominion fleet retreated in disgrace, but their nightmare was far from over. As they fled Earth's orbit, battered and humiliated, the galaxy was watching. The entire war had been broadcast across interstellar networks. An invasion that should have been a decisive, overwhelming display of power had instead turned into a galactic comedy special. And worse, the humans knew it, and they would not let the galaxy forget it. Intergalactic reaction, absolute chaos. Across the galaxy, species who had feared the Dominion for generations laughed until they cried. The war footage, hijacked by human hackers, was edited, remixed, and memed into oblivion. The Dominion, once a name that struck terror into the hearts of worlds, was now associated with a Florida man knocking out an elite warrior with his bare fists, a fursuit-wearing berserker with a chainsaw sending a warlord screaming, Dominion soldiers frozen in terror as an entire human city blasted "Fortunate Son" over loudspeakers. Galactic social media exploded. Dominion warriors? More like Dominion weepers. Wow. Imagine pulling up to invade a planet and getting clapped by a dude in a Walmart vest. I would like to personally thank humanity for the best entertainment I've ever seen. The Galactic Council, the governing body of over 1,000 species, was in complete disarray. Many of them had lived in fear of the Dominion for centuries. And now, they realized they had nothing to be afraid of. The fall of the Dominion begins. Back on the Dominion homeworld, Supreme Commander Talmovith sat in the ruins of his once proud war council. His officers were in shambles. Their economy was in freefall. Their empire was collapsing. Entire species under their rule were rising in rebellion, emboldened by Earth's defiance. The worst part? The Dominion couldn't even threaten anyone anymore. Not after humanity's internet trolls had hacked into their entire communication network and replaced all official war broadcasts with videos of Dominion soldiers screaming and running from raccoons. A remix of Tal's Retreat, order auto-tuned to a dance track. A deep fake of Tal himself tearfully saying, "I love humans. They are my overlords now." The Dominion was finished. And the humans hadn't even needed a proper army to do it. The Galactic Council convenes. What the hell do we do about humanity? For the first time in over 10,000 years, every major galactic power met in an emergency session. The topic? How to deal with the absolute menace that was Earth. Because now, every species realized something terrifying. If this was how humans treated an invasion, what would happen if they ever got bored and decided to invade someone else? The Draxian warlord spoke first. "We must contain them. Keep them isolated before they spread." The Vorithal scholars disagreed. "No. We must make them our allies. Their minds are unpredictable but powerful." The Grell diplomats had the simplest suggestion. Just let them do whatever they want. Give them free food and entertainment so they never get curious about galactic conquest. The debate raged for weeks. And then, humanity joins the meeting, in the most human way possible. Halfway through the council meeting, something horrifying happened. Every screen in the Grand Galactic Hall hijacked itself. Suddenly, a human appeared, A young man in a hoodie sitting in what looked like a messy bedroom with a Mountain Dew can in hand. He grinned. Yo, what's up, aliens? I'm Brad and we just hacked your entire government. LMAO. The council chamber fell into chaos. Brad continued. So listen. Y'all seem worried about us. But honestly, we don't really care about conquering the galaxy. The ambassadors exchanged nervous glances. You don't? Nah. Too much effort. Brad took a sip of his drink. We like dumb stuff. Memes. Video games. Competitive rock, paper, scissors. That kind of thing. The council breathed a sigh of relief. So, you're saying humanity has no interest in expansion? Brad shrugged. Oh, we'll still explore and travel. But we're mostly just here to vibe. Then he smiled. But don't get it twisted. If someone does mess with us. He leaned closer to the camera. We will ruin your entire species for fun. Silence. And that was the moment the galaxy unanimously decided. Humanity would never be messed with again. The moment Brad's transmission ended, the Galactic Council chamber sat in a stunned, horrified silence. Humanity had just casually hacked into the most secure network in the universe. They had dismantled an empire without firing a single shot. And now, they had casually announced to the entire galaxy that they had no grand ambitions, unless someone made the mistake of provoking them. The message was clear. Do not mess with Earth. Ever. The aftermath, the Dominion collapses. The once mighty Dominion Empire was reduced to a laughingstock. Its member species rebelled overnight, inspired by Earth's defiance. Civil wars broke out across their territories as planets fought to reclaim their independence. Former allies of the Dominion switched sides immediately, eager to distance themselves from the greatest embarrassment in galactic history. Even worse, Dominion commanders trying to restore order found themselves under siege from their own troops, because their soldiers had seen the same war footage as everyone else. Nobody wanted to follow an empire that had been defeated by a guy with a shopping cart full of fireworks, an army of small angry birds weaponized by Florida residents, a dude in medieval armor riding a dirt bike straight into battle. The Dominion wasn't just losing, it was self-destructing. The Galactic Council's dilemma. What now? The Council convened again, desperate to determine what the hell to do about Earth. For the first time in millennia, there was no dominant military force in the galaxy. The Dominion was finished. No other empire was strong enough to take its place. And humanity? They were the only ones crazy enough to hold that kind of power. The Council had only two choices. 1. Try to suppress humanity before they became even more dangerous. 2. Do whatever it took to keep them entertained and uninterested in war. They wisely chose option 2. The Human Containment Initiative. The Council's official decision? Give humanity everything they could possibly want. Free trade? Granted. Unlimited access to alien tech? Granted. A seat on the Galactic Council? Absolutely granted. If humanity wanted to build colonies? Nobody would oppose them. If humanity wanted to participate in galactic affairs? They were welcomed with open arms. If humanity wanted to open fast food chains across the universe? Every planet got a McDonald's. It was a galactic bribe. Keep Earth entertained, keep Earth peaceful. Because everyone understood one universal truth now. Humanity wasn't evil. But if anyone pissed them off? The galaxy wasn't prepared for the kind of war humans would bring. Earth's reaction, wait, we won? Back on Earth, the sudden flood of trade deals, diplomatic requests, and alien visitors confused the hell out of most people. The government scrambled to adjust, unsure how they had just become a superpower overnight. Meanwhile, regular humans took full advantage of the new status quo. Tourists from across the galaxy visited Earth, eager to experience the planet of madness for themselves. Alien corporations competed for human sponsorships, desperate to be associated with the species that had just dismantled an empire by accident. Human social media exploded as people live-streamed their encounters with confused aliens who were terrified of simple Earth traditions like Halloween. Earth hadn't just won a war. They had become the cultural and economic center of the galaxy. Final message to the galaxy: humanity has entered the chat. One last message was sent from Earth to every civilization across the stars. A simple, short transmission. A video of a human sitting in a chair, sipping coffee. They leaned forward, grinning. Hey, we're humans. We like to have fun. We like to explore. We like to be cool with everyone. But let's get one thing straight. If you ever try to conquer us again, we will make sure your species becomes an intergalactic meme for the rest of time. They took another sip, winked at the camera. Stay safe, y'all. The feed cut. And across the galaxy, A new legend was born. Humanity wasn't just another species anymore. They were the most feared, most unpredictable, and most ridiculous civilization in existence. And the galaxy had no choice but to welcome them. The end. Enjoyed this? Hit that subscribe button and tell us, what's the funniest way humanity could destroy an alien empire? Rocket fire.